Hello everyone, it's Karen McLaughlin here, Certified Personal Trainer in Hamilton, Ontario, here with you for my weekly Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Facebook Live broadcast. And the sun is shining here in Hamilton, Ontario, and I could not be happier about that. This is our second day in a row of sunshine with no rain, and I think it's been months, I think, since this happened where we've gotten 2 days in a row with no rain, so I'm over the top ecstatic about that. And it's really gotten me thinking about vacation. And before I get off on my little spiel for today, I do want to just say a belated Happy Canada Day to all my fellow Canadians. I hope you had a great long weekend. We just finished ours yesterday. And to my American friends, happy 4th of July for you. I know you're celebrating today, and for us Canadians, it's back to the daily grind. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having a great celebration for your national holiday. We had a very challenging long weekend, but I will spare you the details because they weren't pretty. Anyway, the topic for today is how to stay committed to your fitness goals while you're on vacation. I'm hoping most of you are going to be able to take a break and go away on some type of vacation this summer. And even if you're not maybe going away, sometimes like summer is just a time to chill out, relax a bit more. We've got those longer days, life is more casual and usually a little bit slower paced, and we tend to have more fun with our friends and go to lots of parties and stuff like that. So you can apply what I'm saying to either a specific, vacation of a set time period and location, or just generally kind of a mindset for over the summer months when we tend to kind of maybe cut loose a little bit more and relax our behaviors, and sometimes we fall away from some of the good habits that we've gotten into. So, how do we stay committed when, it's just easy? We want to just sit around the pool and with a cold beer or a glass of wine and gab with our friends or hang out with our family if we're away on vacation. I think this is really important because I've seen this time and again with both clients and with friends that they work really hard for, several weeks or months to achieve a particular health or fitness goal, whether it's, losing some weight, building up our body strength, increasing mobility, increasing their energy level. They may manage to make a significant change, and then they go away on vacation and just everything kind of goes all to heck, and they come back and they've sort of backslid on their goals. Either, they've put on a few pounds that they'd lost, or, their body's not in the same condition that it was. And unfortunately, the rotten thing about this is it's the negative changes can come a lot quicker than it took you to make the positive gains. It is one of the really frustrating facts of life, but it is true. So that's why I really want to help people stay on track during their vacation. And that absolutely doesn't mean that you can't have fun and relax and have a fantastic time on your vacation. I absolutely want you to do that. But there's a mindset that you can enter into your vacation with that's going to allow you to enjoy those things that are really important to you while not shattering all those gains that you've worked so hard to achieve. Okay, so I've actually made a concrete little step-by-step plan that you guys can follow because I like to do that. And so the first step is, and this is really important, write down. I want you to write down all the goals that you've achieved so far this year for your health and fitness. Have you lost 15 pounds? Did you increase your upper body strength? Can you now do 25 push-ups and you could do 4? Write down all the specific, do you have more mobility in different parts of your body? Write down really specifically what you have achieved already this year. Okay? I know you've achieved something. Even if it seems kind of small, write it down anyways. Everything you can think of. Whether it's one thing or 10 things, I just want you to write them down. And I really do want you to write it down. Don't just think about it, because our brain does weird stuff to us when we just kind of think about stuff and don't make it concrete by writing it down. It's just not as real. So write them down where you can see them. Read over that list of all the stuff that you have accomplished. Give yourself a big pat on the back, first of all, because you're awesome, because you did all that stuff. And now, I want you to think really hard about how much work went into making all those changes. What did you have to do to lose that weight, to gain that strength, to practically double your energy level? Whatever those things were, think really hard about what you had to do to achieve them. And then ask yourself, do you really want to ruin all those weeks or months of hard work by just letting everything fall apart while you're on vacation? Because I'm hoping that the answer will be no, you don't want to let it all fall apart. And just really own that. Because it's so easy, like when we go into vacation mode, and I know it's easy because I've done it myself. It's like you just want to let it rip. You think, oh, I've worked so hard, I just want to cut loose, just enjoy myself for this week or 2 weeks or however long you've got before I got to go back to, the daily grind of whatever it is you do when you're not on vacation. But hopefully you like what you do, but I know sometimes it can feel hard. Anyway, so just really own that. You worked hard to get where you are. So it's really just honoring and respecting all that work you did by making a commitment to not wreck it while you're on vacation, okay? And I promise you're still going to enjoy your vacation. So let's just let go of that mindset that you can't enjoy yourself if you're not going to let it all just go to heck. All right. So it's really important though to start off by acknowledging what you've done so far, how hard you had to work to do that, and that you're not willing to wreck it now. You worked hard for that, right? So don't undo it all in your 2-week vacation. All right. So now that we've done that and you've acknowledged that you do not want to backslide, the next thing is just to make a really simple vacation plan. And because I'm like, if you wait until you're in the moment, oftentimes it's too easy to make the wrong decision. So I'm a big fan of deciding in advance and making a plan. Because then when you make that plan and then you instill it in your brain has somewhere to go when it runs into the circumstance that's going to be challenging to you. And if you didn't make a plan, your brain's just going to default back to the easy behavior, okay? So step 1 of the vacation plan is, what health behaviors and boundaries do you want to set for this vacation? So number 1, or I guess I call that 1. So part A of that is think about ways to include daily movement on your vacation. And you don't need to do a 2-hour workout every day on your vacation, but you guys have heard me talk endlessly about how important movement is, whether that's formal exercise or just other forms of moving your body in different ways and getting movement out of your different joints and different ranges of motion. These things are important. So, and the bonus is, you all know, if you think about it and you're honest, the days when you lay around doing nothing, you really don't feel that good. You feel just kind of a lethargic and groggy, right? I know it's true, and you know it's true. It seems like a dream to be able to lie around all day, but it doesn't actually feel that good when you do it. So plan for movement. If you're going somewhere that you've already been before, and you kind of know the lay of the land, you can be very specific about what you might be able to do. And if you're going somewhere new, you might not be 100% sure of the specifics, so you might have to make a more general plan. But for sure, almost anywhere that you're going to go, you're going to be able to walk quite a bit. And it's probably going to be, most places you go for vacation, walking is really enjoyable because there's hiking trails. Most people tend to vacation fairly close to nature, unless you're going on a big road trip, city marathon kind of thing, in which case you really need to plan movement breaks if you're stuck in the car a lot. Anyway, but if you're at a resort or cottage, camping, those kind of things that are closer to nature, you're definitely going to be able to get some fantastic walking in, probably in a really nice setting. And if you're going somewhere urban, you can do walking tours of wherever it is that you're checking out. So there's no excuse not to walk. Sorry. And just think of what other things you might be able to do if you are staying at somewhere that's more resort-like. They may have fitness facilities of some type, like a gym-like sort of thing. They may offer types of classes. We go camping almost every summer, and my husband brings his bike with him. He gets up really early and goes for a great bike ride every morning, and then he comes back and he starts breakfast, and that's just awesome because I wake up to the smell of coffee, bacon, and pine forest, and life does not get any better than that. You can usually find ways to get some kind of strengthening exercises in, even if you're I've used the picnic table to do stuff on. You can be creative, but just the most important part is your mindset of finding movement. I mean, also look for cool things that you can do movement-wise that are new to you. That, when we go camping, we now look for parks that offer stand-up paddleboarding rentals, because we discovered a few summers ago that we love that, and so that's something we look forward to doing during our vacation. But there's canoeing, kayaking, other water sports. Depending on how exotic your location is, there may be some really interesting movement-based activities that you've never done before. So really, that can be like a really fun explorational part of your vacation, trying something new and getting your movement on at the same time. So that's even better. So no excuse not to keep moving, folks. Sorry. And it doesn't have, doesn't have to spend your whole day moving, but you will feel better if you spend a significant chunk of it. Okay. What else was I going to say about this? So aside from movement, you also want to plan how you're going to eat healthfully for your vacation. And depending, again, on where you are, that may be super easy, or it may be a little trickier, but it's always doable, especially the more you plan in advance. Because sometimes, again, it's depending. If you're going on a road trip type of thing and it's not far away, you may be able to pack a lot more of your own food. If you're going somewhere really far away where you're, if you're flying somewhere, you're obviously not going to take your own food. But there's always options, and the more you look for better options, they'll be there. And so, of course, you want to eat delicious food while you're on vacation, but that doesn't mean it can't mostly be delicious, healthy, fresh food, right? And I remember when we went out east, I just ate so much seafood because it's so fresh out there, and it's really healthy. So that was like a total win-win. So you can look for something like that that's, a treat, because, we don't get fresh seafood like that around here, but it's also healthy. So it feels like a wonderful treat, and you're nourishing your body as well. I know sometimes when we get in certain settings, like because we have gone on so many family camping trips, we've gotten to a really bad habit for a while of sitting around the campfire eating junk. And that's kind of embarrassing for me to admit, but there you go. And this was because we'd kind of gotten into the mentality that, the rest of the year we didn't buy those foods for the most part, but then when we went to get ready for a camping trip, all of a sudden all this stuff goes in the grocery cart that never would have made it in there the rest of the year. And then I finally came to the realization, man, I don't feel so good after I eat that many s'mores, Sometimes you have to really overdo it a few times before you learn, and I did that, and I just was like, what the heck am I doing this for? The campfire itself is just as enjoyable. no matter how many s'mores I eat. And I definitely do want to have one, but I don't need to have 6. So that's the kind of thing you want to sort of notice, is like, what's enough to really satisfy. You know, a s'more is a special treat that we get when we're camping, but one is fine. You know, I don't need to eat several. And so those are the kind of things you need to think about, is what is going to satisfy that particular, you know, specialness of your vacation. What will really make it for you, and then what is just going to push it over the top and be too much. One thing that can be really helpful here is to set concrete boundaries with specific things that you know tend to trip you up. So for a lot of people on vacation and not on vacation as well, alcohol and desserts can be two of those things that can just really undo all that good that you've been trying to do by eating healthfully, by going overboard. And, you know, we have this sort of a cultural fantasy of like the awesome vacation being lying on the beach, sipping Mai Tais or whatever all day, and then going and having this meal with these really indulgent desserts. And I finally realized, I mean, I've never actually stayed at a resort where I could drink on the beach. I tend to go to public beaches where you're not allowed to do that. But I've sort of realized, you know, even if I could, the most satisfying part for me is like lying on the beach in the sun and reading a book uninterrupted, because for many years I had small children and I could not sit there and read a book uninterrupted. So that for me is most of the satisfaction, and then kind of the rest of it's just window dressing. So I don't need to have like 6 drinks while I'm sitting on the beach in the afternoon, even if I could. I know the part that's important to me. I'm fine just drinking some cold water, and I'm not going to feel hungover later either, which is a bonus. So, you know, if you know you struggle with drinking too much alcohol while you're on vacation, or even like when you go to parties and stuff, set yourself clear boundaries. And I'm not going to tell you what those should be, but the less alcohol you drink, the better. And I find like the first one is really good, the second one's okay, and then after that it doesn't really matter in terms of I'm not getting a lot of satisfaction out of it, and I'm starting to not feel good. So just really think hard about what is enough for you. And do you need to eat dessert even if you're on vacation, do you need to have a dessert every day? Maybe most of the time you can just go for the fresh fruit and that kind of stuff. And if there's something really special, then you indulge in that. And if it's super huge, maybe you can share it. Like, that happens a lot. I try to find out how big desserts are when I order them. Some places have gotten into I'm going to charge you a lot of money and bring you a little tiny dessert. And then it's, you know, reasonable to just eat it all yourself. But some places bring you absolutely massive desserts. So I try to ask the wait staff and get a sense of how massive something is. Because if it's really big, I might as well split it with my husband, honestly. Because once it's there in front of me, I feel obligated to try and eat as much of it as possible. That's, you know, it's that not wasting food thing, which is kind of stupid. But anyway, so figure out what's enough for you and what the really important things are. Like, if you're going somewhere that's known for a particular delicacy or some fantastic dessert, you're going to a special restaurant that's known for something in particular really rich, yeah, you should go for that, especially if this is a place you're probably never going to come back to. But you build that into your plan, and so you know, oh, we're going to this restaurant tonight, and I'm going to eat something that's over the top, and it's going to be totally worth it because I'm probably never going to experience this again. Well, yeah, the rest of the day, make great choices and eat, you know, have a salad for lunch, and, you know, eat really light and healthy, and then you're ready to indulge. So, you know, vacation doesn't have to be like this just endless, like, gluttony of eating and just sort of laying around doing nothing. And the more you plan for those things that are really special, you can enjoy it you're not going to feel guilty about it, and you're not going to feel as bad afterwards. Like, I find, if you think about like around the holidays, like the Christmas holidays, when we've all had that experience where we've gone to like holiday gathering after holiday gathering after holiday gathering, and there's so much food and you overeat like 8 days in a row, and then, oh, you just feel terrible. Really, don't you? And so vacation can end up being like that too. And do you really want to feel like that while you're on your vacation? Don't you want to feel vibrant and energetic and really be experiencing like everything to the highest level possible? So just stay mindful of that. And so that's why like those boundaries can be really important, and just really intentionally figuring out what are those indulgences that I really, really want to make, and then building around that so you can build lots of healthy choices around those indulgent things. And the other thing is, what are the indulgences that you could have that are not, that are actually healthier, that aren't going to send you off track? So again, if you're going somewhere that's sort of more resort-like, could you get a massage there? Do they have a sauna or a hot tub? I mean, a lot of places have, even like really family hangout places have that stuff these days. So those, for me, those things are really special treats that I don't have at home, and I really look forward to those. And that's certainly not going to undo your fitness goals, and in fact, it might help improve them a little bit. You know, those things are good for your body. So what else? Two of the biggest things that I look forward to when I'm going on vacation that don't cost me anything except for paying to stay somewhere else is getting extra sleep and just having those long interrupted stretches of reading, like I already mentioned, because I don't get those in my daily life, and I just love to read. So, and again, you know, sleep is great for us, right? And most of us aren't getting enough. So planning to get some extra sleep may be a good thing too, if you need to catch up on it. And it's a tricky thing though, because you don't want to sleep. Sometimes you're tempted to sleep too much on vacation because you can. So, you know, you might want to, most of the time, 8 to 9 hours is pretty darn good. And then after that, unless you're super exhausted, there's like a sort of diminishing returns to staying in bed after that. And you stay in bed too long and you end up feeling groggy and you don't feel like doing much. So again, like getting that extra solid sleep that you need is good, but don't don't hang around in there all day either, okay? Go outside and move. So those are the I kind of skipped from step A into step B without really planning to, but so the two parts of your vacation plan, once again, is figuring out what health behaviors you're going to do and what limitations you're going to set around the things like alcohol and dessert that usually trip you up. And then the second part of that is figuring out what specific indulgences are worth it to you and planning for those. And knowing that the eating indulgences can be offset. You know, obviously you can't make 20 of those in 1 week. That's why I'm asking you to plan in advance and figure out which are the real one of those things that you really want to experience and enjoy, your top 2 or 3, because otherwise everything will just look tempting, right? What are those top 2 or 3 things, and plan for those non-food indulgences, those things that aren't going to wreck your fitness plans and are going to feel great. So, and I do want you to write that all down, not just in your head. It's too easy to let it slide away. So I actually want you to take this with you, okay? And maybe just give it a quick eyeball every day for even 2 minutes, okay? It'll just, you know, I find when I start my day being really clear about stuff, it's so much easier to continue on that way. So just doing a little recommitment for 2 minutes every morning, it'll keep you grounded. And the other thing before you leave is I want you to commit to yourself, but I also want you to ask for support from whoever it is you're going to be traveling with, whether it's your family, whether it's friends, whoever you're going to be sharing your day in and day out with during your vacation. Say it's your family. Say, look guys, you know what? I've worked really hard this year on my fitness goals. I've accomplished X, Y, and Z. You've already got it written down. You can read it to them. And you know what? I don't want to wreck this for myself. I don't want to fall off the wagon and undo everything I've just spent the last 6 months accomplishing. I really need your help. Can you guys please support me? And I'm really hoping that your family is not a bunch of jerks and that they're going to say, sure, we'd be happy to do that. I hope they would do that for you. So just be clear about that, like that you say, you know what, I've written this plan out, this is what I want to do, can you help me stick to that? And, you know, if I have a weak moment, can you just remind me of what, you know, you could even give your husband a photocopy of what you wrote if you want, so he can go, hey, look honey, this is what you wrote, are you sure you want to do that right now? You know, I don't want you guys to get in fights with your spouses or your family or whoever during vacation, but if you're going to commit to something, commit to it. And that doesn't mean you can't be a little bit spontaneous. We all have times when something's going to come up and you could have this amazing unexpected opportunity to indulge in something that you didn't know in advance. Of course, like, there are times when you should just go for it. And it should be guilt-free, because otherwise what's the point? But those times don't happen all that often, and so, you know, every day on vacation it's easy to fall into an excuse. And, you know, if there's something offered that looks really tempting to you, just ask yourself, is this something I'm not going to be able to have once I go back home? Because there's not really that many things that are so special these days that we couldn't have at another time once we're home. So, you know, if it's something you could buy at any grocery store in North America, like, that's not special. So you don't need to necessarily have that on your vacation. I'm talking about these things, you know, if it's a cultural or regional or just something you're never going to probably come across again. Those are the times to go for it. And a lot of the times it's just knowing when to say, you know what, like, we're eating out today at this chain restaurant because we're driving from point A to point B, and there's nothing really special about this food. I can get this, you know, in any city in North America, so I don't need to get the super greasy diner plate. You know, you can make the healthiest choice possible that they have to offer. So just don't let yourself slide. It's too easy to let it slide and just have that, oh, I'm on vacation, I'm just going to do whatever feels good in the moment the whole time. Because we know those decisions have ramifications later, and it's going to, if you come back from your vacation and you've gained 15 pounds, especially if you just spent the last 6 months losing them, how is that going to make you feel? So it's just trying to bring some mindfulness in, and, you know, don't waste the treats on stuff that's not special, okay? Save the indulgences for the things that are really awesome, okay? I've said that a lot of times, but I'm really just driving a point home, because we can just kind of try and convince ourselves the whole vacation is just one big special moment, right? But really, a lot of the times, stuff is not anything special, and we'd be just as happy with the salad and the fresh fruit. And if we're, you know, 3 weeks after we get back from our vacation, if we still really want the blah, blah, blah that we can get anywhere, we can have it then. And you're just going to have so much more energy and feel good. You know, you're going to be feeling better about yourself because you stuck to what you said you were going to do. And you're going to have more energy. And everything's just going to feel better. Okay? So, I got a little off track again. Oh, we were getting commitment from our traveling companions, whether that be family or friends. Really holding it, getting them to hold you accountable to your plan. And then the final thing is that you want to create some of those if-then plans for things you know are likely to trip you up. And if you haven't, I did a whole Facebook Live on this, I think a couple months ago now, on if-then planning, if/then planning. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that right now. You can go back and watch that whole video. It's on my, yes, it is. Sorry, I was just thinking, is it? Yes. It is on my YouTube channel. So if you go into YouTube and search Your Fitness Groove, you will get my channel. And it's just called If-Then Planning. And it's just such a key skill that you can use to help you change behaviors where you know in advance that you're likely, or you're there's a chance that you're not going to be able to follow through because you know you've had trouble in the past following through. So all an if-then plan is you say, if X, then Y. If the waiter asks me if I want another drink and I've already had the 2 that I said was my limit, I'm going to say no. That's that little subroutine for your brain. Nope, 2 drinks, I'm going to tell the waiter no. Instead of having to reconsider it in the moment because it's easy to talk yourself into, oh, I'll just have a 3rd one, oh, I'll just have a 4th one. So if the waiter asks me if I want another drink and I've already had 2, I'm going to say no. See how easy that is? It's so easy to write it down, and then, but the interesting thing is that it's been shown that if you do these little things, these little if-then plans, it increases your chances of being successful in the moment by 3 times. Not 10% or 20%, 3 times. So it's pretty powerful. So I encourage you to do that for anything that you think you're going to hit a little snag with. If I'm tempted to have dessert at the roadside stop, but it's not anything special, I'm just going to say no. Those are the simple little statements you can make. And again, if you want more details on how to do that, just hit up my YouTube video on that. But it's really powerful. And so now you have a whole written plan. I'm just going to recap it super quick because I know I've talked too much already. So 1, you're going to write down everything you've accomplished in the last few weeks or months in terms of your fitness goals. Really specific, how many pounds you've lost, how many, I can do 20 push-ups now and I could do 8 in January. Just be as specific as possible about what you have achieved. Remember how hard it was for you to get there and all the work that you did, so that you can commit to not losing it during your vacation. And then write out that vacation plan, which includes what health behaviors you want to do and what boundaries you want to set. So plans for movement, plans for healthy eating, and how you can achieve those in the vacation setting that you're going to be in. Plans for any boundaries you need to set around things like alcohol or desserts or anything else that's a problem. It could be bagels. I don't know, some people, anything is an issue for you. Just write it down, make a plan, set boundaries. And then plan for your indulgences was the next thing. So what are the special things that is really going to make it a vacation for you, whether that be that cultural, regional delicacy, that dessert that the restaurant's known for, that you're going to, that you're never going to go to again, those really, truly special things. And what are the non-food indulgences, ways you can treat yourself, the whole spa thing, massages, hot tubs, reading on the beach, extra sleep, write those down too, because those to me are just as much of what makes things feel a vacation as like eating all the treats, right? So, and with the movement part, definitely check out anything unique activity-wise that you can do that you might not be able to do again or for a long time. Get your movement on and really fun and new experiences. And then final things, ask whoever you're traveling with to help you stay on board with your plan. Give them a copy of it if you need to. and then write those if-then plans down. And then, now you've got like your cheat sheet for staying on track for your vacation. That should maybe take like one page. You can fold it up you can do it on your phone if you want, but I'd actually encourage you to make the original handwritten, because there's something powerful about writing stuff down with our own hands, with a real pen, and it goes in your brain in a different way than if you're just typing words on a keyboard. It feels more real. I personally would prefer to carry the written piece of paper around with me, because it feels more meaningful to me. But if for whatever reason that doesn't work for you and you just want to carry it around in your make the original handwritten one, and then if you want to just input it into a doc on your phone, then okay, do that. But just bring some form of it that you can spend 2 minutes just reviewing it every morning and staying on track, because you're going to feel better during your vacation, and you're going to, physically you're going to feel better, but mentally, spiritually, by the time you come back, you're going to just feel so much more empowered. Because what happens is we go and we have all that fun, and then you come home. I've seen this happen again. So many clients, so many friends, they yeah, I had a great time, but now I feel like crap and I've gained back 12 pounds, and gosh, why did I do that? There's a lot of regret a lot of times in the aftermath. And I just don't want that for you. I want you to come back feeling, man, I rocked it. I had a fantastic time. I did all these things that were super fun. I did enjoy that stuff that was super special. But the rest of the time, I rocked my plan, and I ate healthy stuff, and I felt really good on my vacation, and I had lots of energy, and we did all this cool stuff, and I actually did more hiking than I even thought I wanted to do because I had the energy, and I wasn't snapping at my kids because I was eating crappy food, and so we had more fun family bonding time, and it was a happy time. And this stuff just pays a lot of dividends across the board. It's just a little bit of self-discipline, just a little, and then you win so much out of it. And you're going to come home and you're going to be like, I got everything I wanted to get out of my vacation, and I didn't lose anything. You got what you wanted, and you didn't have to lose anything that you didn't want. Who wants to lose those 15 pounds again? It was hard enough the first time, right? Don't do that to yourself. You can have an awesome time and maintain your weight while you're on vacation. You can have an awesome time and not lose all those fitness gains of whatever shape or form that you've made. And then you're going to come home and you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel well rested. You're going to feel energized. So we've all had those vacations where we just was overindulgence across the board, and you come home and you're like, oh, I need a vacation to recover from my vacation, right? You're not going to do that this year, right? You're going to work this plan that I've just given you. You're going to have an awesome vacation, and you're going to come home, and you're going to feel great. You're going to be ready to go. You're not going to have lost anything, and you're going to be ready to move forward even further. Okay, so that's enough talking for me for this week. If you missed it, parts of what I had to say the first time, you can just go back and listen to it again. I feel like I've driven the important points home enough times already. Okay, so I hope you guys all have an awesome vacation wherever you're going, and I hope that you can stick to the plan and that you come back feeling just as fantastic and just as in shape as you did when you left, but you still had a relaxing and satisfying time. Okay, so that is all I have to say on this topic for now. Just one quick little thing I want to add for those of you who are wondering about fitness classes for the summer. They are not starting this week. Unfortunately, I'm still being held up on getting approval from the city. So you guys will be the first to know the minute I have gotten approval for my exercise class plan. All right, so hang in there. and I'm hoping that they will start next week, which I think would be Thursday. I should have looked at the date. July the 14th, possibly, but don't quote me on that. Wait, no, the 14th is Friday. 13th. Anyway, it's not confirmed yet. Hang in there. And until next week, keep moving and feel great. Okay, guys. See you next Tuesday. Bye.